What up? This is the MikiDZ podcast, episode 96.
Yeesh. Coming down to that 100 episodes soon, fellas.
Yeah, it's around the corner.
Man, what happened?
Before we get into it, just want to say, we're going to talk about the whole new Beat Source thing. We're going to have Disco Drew on next week to talk about it, break down the 8-bar intros and the 20 years of edits being uploaded to Beat Source. So yeah, just wanted to get that off before I forget. But first, what's second most? Sean Harris getting married. Come on, man.
Yeah, man, it's flowers.
Andre Cox, Wave God.
Yeah.
I know. Every name got married.
Yo, you should have seen it.
How many names does Erica have?
I was in the courtroom and they were saying out their whole full name. I said, God damn.
That's a lot of names.
I was like, damn.
2 last names, so
Yeah, man. How you feeling?
pretty good.
It's a good feeling, right? It's different.
On the high right now, yeah. So all this time that we've been together, and just happy to have it come to fruition in this way. So evolving.
How much time has it been?
I've known her since she was 13 and I was 14. So high school.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you went back to VA, how'd you guys reconnect? Like when you moved back?
My boy, I know, right? A little Humpty Dumpty. Yeah. My boy actually was like, "Yo, Erica she hit me up and said she wants to see you," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then, the man did his thing.
Yeah. Here we are. Fast forward.
Exactly.
Oh man, all right.
There's little ears here, so I don't want to get too rated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we get it.
But that's how
he
it
ain't
works.
listening. He's so
That's how
locked
he got
into
here.
his iPad. He ain't paying you no
That's why
mind.
he's here.
Put that boy's headphones on.
Oh, you listening?
They always listen. Oh, that's dope, man. Yeah, the evening was fun. It was
Yes, it
chills, laid back.
Glad you guys came, man.
Yeah, it was a
Very
nice. Yeah, see what the pod or what the listeners don't understand is we don't really hang out outside of the pod.
Not too
Like
much.
we're not going to each other's gigs like that, and we're just everyone's doing their own thing. So when we get together like that, it's not that it's weird. It's just different because we're in a different space, different dynamic, like different conversations.
Yeah.
And then maybe the liquor starts flowing, then people start loosening up a little.
Listen, if we were mic'd when we was in these conversations and you were around each other around these times, oh man, this podcast would be on a whole nother. We probably got canceled a long time ago.
Yeah.
Shit, we should have pod from the rooftop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that was
vibe up
nice.
there. It was a vibe up there.
Whole house was a vibe.
Yeah. Shout out Airbnb. I know this now.
Hopefully we didn't get you a bad review. I saw a couple neighbors coming out with flashlights.
Oh, listen, man, we had a good time. So
I did see that, bro. I was like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't gonna say it out loud because we were outside and he was right out the door.
Here's the kicker. I was
Okay.
like, you know what's good? All the homies got good cars. All the homies got nice cars. So
Yeah,
you
that's
ain't
true.
got nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
you
ain't
got
gotta worry about
it right into the
Yeah, exactly.
neighborhood,
It was
you know what I
like,
mean? yeah.
you have to worry about buckets being parked. And like, what the fuck is this shit?
Who got the jalopy?
No Dodge Chargers, no Nissan.
Hellcats.
Yeah, none of that.
Oh
No
man.
Hellcats.
Oh my
No
god.
Nissan Altimas.
Right, bro.
No loud and annoying
toxic women.
engines coming down the street.
No 808s in the trunk.
You got. As soon as I pulled into the neighborhood, I said,
Did the
"We're not
same
doing
thing.
that. Turn the music down."
Yeah, that's that kind of thing.
Exactly. But it was a great time, man. Like I said, so happy
Yeah.
everybody came and
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, congratulations again, man.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
beautiful, beautiful day.
Big steps, big steps.
So last episode, Rel made a comment about DJs hating DJs, and on top of that, how he doesn't use headphones while he DJs, and that got let's see, what was that? That got over 12,000 views and over 160 comments on Instagram.
And it wasn't even a topic.
It wasn't even a topic. It was literally a 1-minute take from Rel.
It was like a sentence from something else we were talking about.
Yeah, but DJs are gonna respond to shit like that.
DJs are gonna DJ.
DJs are
Listen,
gonna
I'm
DJ.
gonna say
Verbally.
The point of me telling that story was not to say that I don't use headphones and whatever. It wasn't about the headphone use.
Yeah.
It was about supporting one another in this industry and being more. I don't even know what the word I'm looking
Or
for.
not being so
or-
critical.
Positive?
Just being more positive, with one another. You know what I'm saying? As again, because, you know, to my point, if you had listened to the whole pod, and I get that people were just responding for the clip, so I'm not going to kill y'all because all y'all just responding to the clip that was posted on DJcity. But my whole point of saying all that was just that we need to support one another. Now, again, I know we kind of contradicted ourselves because I was like, yo, we need to be more supportive. And then later on in the show, we completely
I don't think everybody listens to the rest of the episode.
Well, we're not going to make this a clip. So it's
you're right.
We completely bashed the chick. Now, to our defense, we were given that. Someone gave us that clip and said, hey, you guys should talk about this and give your opinion on it. So we gave our opinion on it. So it wasn't,
you know,
like,
you sound like the baby right now. I wasn't raised to understand this, but you know, I apologize.
I was just saying, but
I was raised different.
I'm taking accountability. Like,
The
yeah,
apology.
we made a point and we contradicted ourselves, but this is what it was. So yeah, that's what I was saying. But some of y'all completely misread the whole point of that fucking clip.
for sure.
Completely.
Hey, whatever gets engagement, man.
100%. 1,000%.
Sometimes you gotta throw a grenade in the room and see what happens.
Yeah, fuck it.
Some outlandish shit.
Man.
So a few of the bigger names that has something to say was Jazzy Jeff and Craze. And Jeff said, we're supposed to be playing for the public. I never heard anyone in the crowd say, where's his headphones, focusing on the wrong shit.
Facts.
And absolutely, you know, Jazz is always going to come with something positive and hit you upside the head. Remember, Jazz is the one that said, I don't give a shit if you use a MIDI controller. Like the crowd don't give a shit if you use a MIDI controller.
Job done.
Just get the programming right. And then Craze, in natural Craze form, had a lot to say.
Wait,
and some,
do you call Jazzy Jeff Jazz because of the show or because you think that's like the shortened version of what you should call him?
I think subconsciously because of the show, I'm
Yeah.
calling him Jazz.
I was catching that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, well,
I'm
you know, you know what era we
I think
grew up in.
he
so-
would accept that. No, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If
Is
he
that
was
like-
here,
is
I
that
might
like-
call him.
Yeah.
If he was here, I might call him Jazzy.
Okay.
I might call him Jazzy Jeff. No, I will call him Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah,
We'll have to go back and
haven't-
watch that MikiDZ
Do you
show
think
with
calling
Jazzy
him?
Jeff.
Do you think calling him Jeff is like this? Is like,
But that's what I hear everybody around
Like, oh,
him
like,
call
I'm
him
too cool?
Jeff. No, everybody, I know that when we've been in his presence and people are referring to him, they always refer to him as Jeff.
right?
I haven't heard anybody call him Jazz.
Yeah.
Just
weren't
curious.
No, these are the topics that DJs want to hear. What do we
Mr.
call
Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff?
That's a good question.
So in Craze, again, who the hell still uses headphones? It's 2021. Think about it. And of course,
Think
because he threw
about it.
sync in, that spurred a whole other conversation. Someone said, how are you blending if you're not using headphones? He said, my wife's a bruja. He said, magic, my wife's a bruja.
Brujeria.
And then it got into then someone else had something to say about him syncing and how it takes away from blending in the true art form. And Jeff Craze is like, basically, it's the most elementary thing we do. Like, there's nothing to think about. It's extremely basic. By syncing, I can think about other things to do, scratching, focusing on a different edit, bringing things in. I don't want to have to sit there and think about is the sync or is a blend spot on. And I get that. And I remember some guys, Zach talked about that, 4Color Zach talked about that. And some guys wanted to say something, but I felt like they held back because of Craze. Because it's 4Color Zach and it's Craze. So they bit their tongue like, all right. But if it was anybody else, I truly believe they would have got roasted.
Like us.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
But
yeah.
come on, man, we
saying-
talking
yeah.
about Craze and 4Color Zach. They're not doing your typical just blend here, blend every track, get the party going. Like these motherfuckers is doing routines, crazy ass routines. Who got time to worry about if this blend is on? Put that fucking sync button on and go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at it. I would do the same shit if my sets were like that. Like
honestly, my sets are nothing like that, and I would do it. I just don't take the time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well,
I have no problem because to me, I'm always trying to be 5 to 10 tracks ahead. So if I'm coming up to track 5 or 6 in what I have planned out, and I'm blending, like I can take that time, that 17 seconds to blend or whatever it is, to figure out what my next set of tracks are going to be.
Yeah, and to do it properly, I mean, depending on what kind of sync mode you have, like it takes work to grid everything, like and make sure everything's on point. I mean, unless you're literally exporting all the same shit and all the same tempos, like, but it's work to get that set up.
So when you put it into Serato, and when you load your tracks into Serato and you want to use sync, prior to hitting sync, you have to have everything on the grid.
Yeah, but typically a lot of stuff, especially when you get it from DJcity or Beat Source, it already comes grid. Even transitions. And that's where it would get tricky prior to, let's say, a certain time frame when people weren't really gridding transitions, because the sync matches the grid. So if you had a record, let's just say a transition record, right, from like 100 to 130, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it starts at 100, your grid is going to start at 100 because of the intro, and then it's going to keep that grid all the way through. So when it gets to 130, it's going to sync against the wrong line. And so now what I've noticed from DJcity and anybody else, like, and you can do it yourself, is you grid it through the track, and then where that transition is, it kind of just matches through. It takes work.
Yeah.
Because then now, even if you're synced and it goes to 130, like, you can match up against the 130 part as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys use transition records a lot?
I can't tell you the last time I used it, but that's the most, I would assume, the most common way for you to have an issue with sync.
Got you.
Outside of that, you typically have to line up the one, and then of course live records are going to be a little more difficult. That's going to take a little more tedious. But you can grid everything and have it all kind of do it. It's just a little bit of like, just how we used to probably label our records, like on Serato. Keep in mind, I'm the retired one, but like,
hey, you know more than we do. Shit, I'm like,
I've been a little tech nerd.
I don't even know how the sync option works.
Fellas, this has been around for 4 years. Think about it.
I'm like, there's a sync button on here? Oh shit!
Nah, and to be
hustling backwards.
And to be completely transparent, right? Like, I'm not recording mixes all the time, and when I do, it's last minute. But I'm using the sync button damn near 9 out of 10 times. Like. And I just kind of like stay in a tempo. I'll move up and down. But really, like, when it comes to mixing records, I don't even have to think about anything. Like, I'm like, all right, can I be creative here? Can I not? Whatever. Just get to think of other shit.
Yeah, to answer your question, I'll use at least 2 transition records.
Within the set?
Yeah, because the venues I do, it's like, it's 100 and then it's 130. Yeah. Like, there's nothing really in between that there's not much, I should say. If I'm like trying to get to the point of everything. Yeah. I mean, I was just telling you about
I remember
Reno.
That story,
I was just telling you about Reno. We can get into our weekends now. So I did
the pool spot, right?
the night swim. Yeah, at why am I blanking on these venues? I did. What the hell was the name of that venue? I can't even think. Shout out to that venue though. Shit.
Free promo.
Oh man. In Reno.
They have so it is the Grand Sierra. Jesus. All right, so I did the Grand Sierra night swim party, and it's dope because, and shout out to Enfo. He said, "Look, I'm gonna tell you the formula that works here." Or you can go rogue and try and do whatever you want, but this is what works. And obviously, I'm going to listen because I want the night to be successful.
Exactly.
So he said, look, everyone's going to start out on this, because it's a huge pool. And where I'm DJing, you have to walk like almost in a full circle to get to that area. But in the center back of the pool is where everyone hangs out from 10 to 12, big bar, and it's just a vibe, but eventually from 12:30, everyone works their way down to where the DJ is. And he said, somewhere around 12:30-ish, 12 o'clock, do what you got to do. But around 12:30, start to play Bay Area music, hi-fi, all that shit. And then go from hi-fi to Latin music. So I was like, cool, say less, I got you. So we did that, played a lot of hip-hop. Went to Latin, and I was telling Rel, typically around 105, around that area, I'm transitioning up to 130. But I wanted to have a little bit more fun and step outside my box and go. And since I was already at 105, 110, I wanted to play some not so go-to tracks just to see if I can keep them around and eventually get to that 125, 130. So that's what I did, and I had a lot of fun playing like I think I played the Bad Bunny El Alfa Fire joint.
Baboni.
And like just some other Latin edits to get to that point. But it all worked out and people stayed on the floor and playing in Reno is literally like playing in the Bay because everyone in Reno is from Sacramento or the Bay or Fresno or whatever. But that's their even if they're in Reno, they claim the Bay like as their own. Like when we first started going to Vegas, I remember Presto telling me, yeah, like West Coast, that's us. Like Vegas, we're a part of that West Coast.
Yep.
We were a part of that movement, you know.
For the pot, blending pot.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that spot. Enfo's got a really dope thing. He said every week it gets better and better, and he's brought in some pretty big names.
Nice.
Eventually, they're going to move it inside to Lex when it starts to cool off because it gets real cold out there. I had a lot of fun, and there was a situation with a girl requesting songs, of course.
Of course.
So she comes up very early. Not very, it was like 11:20. She said, "Can you play La Mama and Thought Shit?" And I said, "You know what? I got you. Give me some time, end of the night or towards the middle of the night. I got you. Of course I'm going to play that." So she's like, cool. She walks away. She comes back like around 12:45. Yo, where's this shit? You know, where? I'm like,
it's a good amount of time, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good amount of time. She pushing 2 hours on
She
her
came
shit.
at the right time, though, you know, because I said in the middle of the night, so she probably set her alarm on her iPhone, like, you know, go
What
talk
time
to
did
the
they close?
DJ.
Let me ask you that. What time did they close it? 2 or 3? 2?
Okay.
Yeah.
Two.
All right.
Yeah.
So she comes back.
You're due.
And she comes back and she's kind of lit at this point.
Her chest out, yeah.
Yeah, she's drunk, she's having a good time, but she wants her songs. She comes around the sides, of course, stops the music accidentally. Info kicks her out. And then she's hanging over and she's like, "Why haven't you played my shit yet?" Random dude comes out of nowhere and starts dancing with her. And she, at this point, she's like, "Hey!" And she's looking behind and totally took this girl out of my off my whole shit.
Shout out to that.
I was like, all she needed was some dick. All she needed was some dick,
Sometimes,
and that was that. But yeah, that was the best part. And I didn't hear a peep from her for the rest of the night because she was getting.
Did you play the songs?
Yeah, I played Thought Shit, and I really, really meant to play La Mama.
She's still waiting at the booth.
I know, right?
Where is my shit?
She's just looking at her watch while staring at you.
Like, yo, whoever the next DJ is, that's your responsibility. I don't think I played La Mama. I remember, and I really wanted to play that. I owe her an apology or something. I'll send her a letter or something.
This is it
My
right
bad.
This is the apology right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's listening.
She's listening. Yeah.
She's like, I don't know who this fool is.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's all I got to say for now. It was a lot of fun. Rel, you did some gigs this past 2 weekends. Anything stand out?
This weekend I did Dragonfly on Friday, which was cool. Bad and I, shout out to DJ Bad. We went back and forth all night. It's a little bit of a slow night, but it was still solid.
Yeah.
Saturday, LA function. It's a fucking function, LA function. The dope thing about it is it was cool. They had Blast. I don't know if you guys know about Blast, like up and coming artist, or he's up.
Yo, he's booked. He's booked
up right now.
everywhere.
Yeah.
He is.
There is not a venue that man won't play.
Exactly. Like that man, listen. He's
And
the LA
people are
sound.
singing the shit out of
He's
it.
the LA
Yeah.
sound right now. He
Okay.
is the LA sound right now.
Right.
So anybody ever coming to LA, like you have Blast in your fucking Serato, like for real, like more than YG. Saturday night, I did the Resident downtown bar. Cool, open format. That was dope. I had a lot of fun with that. You know, just getting out of the usual shit that I've been doing the last couple of weeks. And then Sunday afternoon, I did Station 1640 day party. Same thing, cool thing. Used my usual stuff. It was a solid weekend all the way, to be honest with you guys. You know, it was a good weekend. Couple of gigs. A lot of great feedback and stuff like that. So
Yeah. No feedback from the mic.
No big feedback from what?
No feedback from the mic.
Oh yeah, you stupid.
I haven't spoken to
it's
him.
like
Mike, yeah, we haven't been talking.
we were having some. We
We haven't talked.
We were having some on Sunday afternoon. We were having like some mic issues because it's indoor outdoor, and they were like, "Yo, the mic is too loud outside." I said, "So turn it down." Or turn the music. Like there was nobody outside. Like at one point, everyone came outside. So I was like,
unplug the speaker.
Yeah, I was like, y'all can't just turn the music off outside. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it's going to attract people to come. Like if you walking up to the street and you walk up to the entrance, you can't hear the music. You hear the music from inside. Yeah,
right.
That's what's going with you. You're not hearing the music from the outside. And they had like this last minute like local performer like show up because it was one of their boys' birthdays or whatever. And they wanted to play his track, so they had me his track. I was like, all right, cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Shot him out, stopped the music, got it going, boom, played the track. And they were like, yo, let's run it back so he could perform it. Ran it back. He gets on the mic, and my phone's getting blown up. Like, yo, we got to cut it, cut it. No, turn the mic off. And the funny thing about it is, it's someone in your camp that told me to play this shit. So I'm like, y'all got to get y'all shit together. But
no communication.
I'll tell you what happened there. They sold the table. That's why he got to perform.
Yeah, 100%.
And
that's exactly what it was.
And then they hadn't paid the tab yet.
Yeah.
So don't play the record.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's what happens.
I mean, I get it. And I explained to my boy who was like, you know, he was one of the ones that was texting me being like, yo, we got to cut it. And I was just like, yo, this such and such was the one that told me to play it. Like, he was his partner.
Oh, yeah. Also, part of that is a lot of people don't communicate
that shit, yo. And then
they're like, oh, by the time it's a rap, like,
and they
it's
looking
too
at
late.
me like, yo, why the fuck are you letting this nigga perform? I ain't do that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make the day successful.
Right.
The person came over to me and I'm like, I'm trying to keep everybody happy. They got a whole fucking table. They had bottles coming out all goddamn day.
Yep.
I'm like, it was one song. It's one song. Like, you know what I mean? It didn't kill the crowd. That was a dope thing about it because a lot of people in the crowd knew who he was. Yeah. So I was like, it didn't kill the vibe, but I get it. I'm not going to turn his mic down because then what? Like, that's going to be pointless. So I was like, but other than that, everything else was cool. Like, we had a good night.
I had in Reno, I had to get off the mic like by 12:30
because it's outdoors, right?
Because it's outside of a hotel and that shit. I mean, the music I got there the night before. And I can still hear music at like 2:30. I'm like, shit, man, they're still going down there. So I can only imagine like what it sounds like with someone on the mic, like,
screaming, motherfucker, let's go.
If you're from the Bay, make some noise. If you in your room,
Wisconsin, shut the fuck up. Oh man, but yeah, weekend was solid, man.
Yeah. Do you think does Jenna, your wife, feel like she's obligated to get content for you, like take pictures, do videos for you to post? Like at the end of the night, are you guys like, are you saying, yo, send me those videos and pics so I can repost?
The crazy thing about it is she has always done that for me without me even asking from jump. Like when we first started dating and I took her to one, you know, the first couple of gigs that she was coming on with me, she did that from jump. I never asked her to do it. I never told her. I even told her, I said, yo, don't ever feel obligated that you have to do that shit. I'm appreciative. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you catch some videos or some clips or some shit that I can, you know, use down the line or, you know, after the event, but never feel obligated that you do it. I want you to come here and have a good time. And even she's a DJ, so I'm like, yo, chop it up, politic, you know, do your thing. But she does it like automatically. That's just, she loves doing that shit though. So I'm thankful because just like this weekend, she just flooded me last night with everything. Yeah. And I was like, God damn, shit. I'm like, I can't use all this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Did she take pictures of you while you were watching the Verzuz?
Nah, she did. It's crazy because she was cooking, right? So she was getting mad at me. So she was cooking and she takes like, you know, TikTok videos and shit like that. Yeah. And all you hear me in the background is, get these niggas off the stage, bro. Fam, I told these niggas that Dipset wasn't going to last a fucking chance. I was like, yo. She was like, babe. I was like, what?
Keep cooking.
I was like, what?
It smells delicious.
I was like,
were you wearing Timberlands when you were watching?
I wanted to, but I have my Yankee tank top on.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. I want to keep going with that. We're going to get into.
But back to your point. No, I've explained to her like, yo, don't ever feel obligated to do it. But she does it every time she's at my gig. She'll do it. She'll She even does it for other fucking DJs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucking.
Well, so it's different with you, but I really want to know from the DJ community if you think your significant other should feel obligated to take pictures of you. And I ask this because pictures and video content, basically. And I ask this because we know how hard it is to get decent shots at a club. We know how hard it is to get solid content to continue to flood our feed with. Well, for those that want to flood their feed. And sometimes we can't get a hold of the photographer of the night, or sometimes there is no photographer for the night. So I'm really curious to know if DJs really have that conversation with their significant others. Mickey, when you DJ at the highlight room, are you gonna tell Cecilia, hey, if you get a chance, get some pictures, because I don't think we got a photographer coming. So it would be great for you to get some content and you help me out,
Well, first of all, I'm back. August 29th.
Talk to him.
DJing.
Talk to
Highlight Room.
Talk to him.
DJ Rel. Mickey War.
Oh, yeah.
Mag Park, 6-year anniversary.
Yeesh. We're going up.
We bike.
Yeah.
On that note. And no, I have zero expectations for Cecilia to do anything because she's still new to this. Like she doesn't know me as a DJ. Like she's gone with me one time. She came with me when I went to Texas in like Christmas time last year. That was her first time ever even seeing me DJ. I don't play enough Brent Faiyaz or Giveon or whoever.
Giveon. She like the R&B shit.
Yeah, no, she'll be like, well, you can play more Brent Faiyaz. I'm like, babe, I love you.
I'm not playing.
Trying to give me
fire out this bitch.
I'll play some Brent Faiyaz at home. We'll play Brent Faiyaz radio while you're cooking.
And then tonight I might give you a track or two.
Yeah, I'll give you a track.
Literally, it's gonna be the last song.
But like, yeah.
Literally.
She goes, is that why all the DJs wait to the end to play the stuff I like? I was like,
I'm like, yeah.
You're a Canadian ting. Like,
imagine models come out and you drop some give me
listen. Yeah, but she's the one that'll have an ego. Like, all right, fine, you over to blah 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 bottles, and then you play my fucking song, and I'll be like, God damn it.
You know what would be cold, especially for like a Sadiq, because I think of when I met her at Sadiq, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because if she likes that kind of music, of course.
I know she's crazy.
What I was thinking is someone pops bottles in Night Train or whoever the DJs plays. I see money all around me. I feel like I'm the man.
That's a vibe.
Yeah. But that would be a vibe to pop bottles too, and she would be like, "Yo, here we go."
That's her whole energy. She likes just like the chill shit. So like, but let's not make that about her. Back to, I have no expectations of her capturing any content. She will definitely be capturing content for herself.
Sure.
TikTok gonna go crazy.
Matter of fact, she might be expecting me to get a shot of her while I'm DJing.
Yeah. Hey, when you done with this transition, pop this flick real quick.
Put the extended version on.
Then she'll be like, you don't know my angle? Come on.
What you doing?
What's wrong?
You see the lights over here. Come here.
She's like an offensive lineman when I try to take a picture of her. She's just like, always freezes my hand.
She face guards you.
I'm always like, okay. From up top, I get it. All right.
Hey, listen, as the husband,
talk to him
about it. Yeah, as the husband of an influencer, let me tell you, you gotta hold the camera just right, and then if you don't do that, then she gonna hand you the big camera, and then that one got too many settings. You got to learn a whole new trade like I did. But yeah, here we are.
There you go.
Look, I love my girl, and she'll always, no matter what, I'm about to take a picture. She's like, you know my angles, right? And then I'll be like, well, I mean, I think I do, and then she'll just be like, well, others do. So, and I'm just like, you better relax that.
You trying to?
I know you're talking about your girlfriends. You better relax that shit.
Shit, I'm gonna drop the phone. Tell those motherfuckers to take the picture there and walk right.
Don't self-timer that shit.
You got your girls here, right? You got your girls. They know how to use a phone, right?
Go
Joe,
prop that shit somewhere else.
what about Sam?
So the reason why I asked this question, because
It's about to be hilarious.
so I did recently. I did Memoir, and Lord knows you get enough content from that place.
Oh yeah, they run it up.
There actually wasn't a photographer that night, but you had a ton of videos from friends, and then they have the recap video. and Sam was behind the DJ booth most of the night, and she got like a little video and sent it to me, and I said,
You got the hint.
and I said, that's all you got?
What? She about to kill this motherfucker.
Like,
no.
that's it? Like you back there this whole time and that's all you got?
Like a photo.
But I said it playfully because we like
about to say
to
that.
fuck with each other. I said it playfully because I said, I got a ton of content from that night and to promote the next night, which is in a few weeks for Memoir. So, but that's why it made me think like, and in her defense, the shit like the night before and the morning, afternoon leading into that night, she was exhausted. We had the longest 24 hours and she was just barely hanging on for dear life just to stay up for that night. But I wouldn't be mad if a DJ was like, yo, while you're here, can you catch a few shots, get a few, like in the heat of the night, in the heat of the night as you're dating a DJ, you're married to a DJ, when it's popping, just get some from behind, get some from this angle, take a walk around, do a little something, and then go back and have a drink. Like, I wouldn't be mad if a DJ had that conversation.
Yeah, if he asked him, but I'm saying to make her feel obligated to do this shit, like on some, when Mickey was explaining, like, my angles, like, imagine him saying that when he's DJing, my angles, right? Like, get the picture, what you doing? Like, bottles is coming out. What the fuck are you doing?
And this is why I think it comes down to your significant other. You have to know how you, like, who you're dating, who you're married to, and how you can help the cause. Because if it's someone that you really plan on being with forever, it can only help the team. If you get, because it obviously bleeds into promoting and whatever, just the proper content. That's why I say help, when you have a sole proprietor, when you're self-employed.
Help me help us.
All this helps as opposed to a major company or an agency or whatever. But yeah, fun convo.
Man.
Anything else to add to that?
That nigga said, that's all you got? Oh, man. Yo, my wife would have been like, that would have been the one time she said nigga.
Yeah, right.
She would have like, nigga, what?
But again, in all fairness, your wife is a DJ, so she gets it.
True.
And in all fairness, my wife is hanging on for dear life. So.
And my future wife is still learning.
But she ain't got to worry because you're gonna be retired soon. So you're gonna be retired sooner or later.
DJ.
Mike is like the equivalent to Sam Go-Go dancing. She
Yeah,
comes out like once a year, right? He comes out
I
once
come back for Dina Shore.
she's prepping now for the Dinah Shore.
She loves that spot.
October, so she's getting into it now. I'm like, look at you.
I've just been waiting for the right opportunity. I think I've been saying it for a while. Like, if I come back out, like, it's, similar to the conversations we've had on this podcast, I wasn't just going to come back out and just do whatever gigs are being offered. Like, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm like, I never try to like throw any shade at them. And they're, guys that have booked me prior to the pandemic are like, yo, like, we ain't forget about you. What's up? And then
I ain't got time.
I'm like, well,
got to go.
And respectfully, like, there's a method to the madness. And shout out to the Tao group. We've had a good relationship prior, and I felt like it was the right time to build some energy towards a fun little day party.
Yeah. Moving on, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this whole Simone Biles mental health thing. There's been a lot of comments. Been a lot of comparisons to Jordan and other athletes and God knows who and what. But what are your guys' thoughts, bro? We'll start with you. What are your thoughts on her stepping out? And then
she came back.
Yeah. So
no, I applaud her being like, I'm not well. I can't, you know what I mean? Whether that's mentally or physically, I'm not well. I can't compete to my 100% capacity. Take a step back and back out of here. Like she said, I don't owe nobody's shit. I don't blame her. You comparing her to other athletes is unfair. They compared her to Jordan because Jordan played the flu game where he really had fucking
or they said or it was that and Jordan never would have done this in a game 6 or closeout game.
But it's not game 6.
Yeah, we talking about two different people. We talking about two different eras. We talking about like there's no way you can compare that, man. You know what I mean? Like Jordan was living in an era where it's just like you look like a little bitch if you didn't play in the game or some shit like that.
Doing cocaine, and smoking,
shit like that. Come on, man. You know. I
didn't say Jordan was.
I'm glad
his teammates were early on.
Maybe Jordan wasn't. You know,
it's in the last dance.
But yeah, I applaud her, man. I applaud her for not caring what people think and the negative comments that came with all her, you know, her choices and whatnot. And she went up there and she said, "I'm not doing this shit." And then she felt like I'm good now. Like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna compete. I hope she didn't decide to compete because of all the negative comments and the pressure of people putting on her, or she felt like people were putting on her from not competing or backing out previously to that.
Let me say something real quick and we'll keep it moving. Because you said that, it made me think it takes incredible mental toughness to block all that hatred out. Man. I imagine she didn't even look at her phone, or she deleted all the apps or whatever. And she just focused on, you know, she talked to the coach, probably had a therapist out there, but it takes mental toughness to say, I don't need to respond to any of you to protect myself, because we all respond to protect ourselves. That alone is incredible to me. Keep going.
No, I agree with you 100%. And that's why I said, just to end it up, like I said, I think it's dope. I appreciated it. I thought it's going to bring that whole mental health aspect and understanding that more to the forefront as people have been talking about the last, you know, year or two or whatever, and making that like that's just as important as your physical health. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it. I think it's more important, especially like during the pandemic. Like the whole Olympics, you can see it literally. It still says 2020 on everything because it literally got pushed back. These guys had to still stay in that mindset of training and being prepared for these events, and then only to have it postponed and then still have to come and compete at the highest level in the world. Yeah. I mean, like it already takes so much just to get to that point. So if they decide they need a break, a couple of days, an hour, like by all means, if you don't know what it's like to play at a high level of any type of competition, sports or whatever, then you really need to shut the hell up because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand that mental toughness it really takes to be there, like just to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really crazy. Obviously commendable in every way, and like hopefully she's just good. Like that's all that matters to me. Like
seemed like she ended strong. Seemed like she was fine after she got the bronze and silver.
Yeah. And that too. She's super decorated already. Who cares? Yeah. Who cares?
I think the only thing where people, again, like it's tough to, like, by all means, I support, because you don't know what anyone's going through, right? Nope. Speaking on that.
So, by all means?
Sure. So you can't speak for anyone. So I don't know what she's going through, right? But from the outside in, I think the only thing that you might want to consider is like, and given she doesn't know when she's going through this, but you know, that's a seat for someone who did want to participate. And that might be the tough part, not for her or for her teammates, because everybody's going to be a support system as they should be. Mm-hmm. But there's probably somebody at home that didn't come on the team that felt like they could have contributed or did something. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know if that's a situation. No. Yeah. Because, you know, you come in and that's the pressure. The pressure was there
way before.
Fucking 4 years ago after she won the last set of medals, right? Like the moment she won all that, she's goated, cool celebration. I'm sure it was like a month, but she's young enough that she's going to come back and do it all over again, right? So that pressure has only let up. And I think really the only other comment that on the topic is like, you just kind of hope to see the same support across all sports and all genders, because it's not how it's kind of the narrative in the media.
Djokovic.
Djokovic had his the way he went about it though is like it makes him an enemy or a villain, right?
Yeah.
Because the way he went about it.
Yeah.
And so he might have handled it wrong. But if you go back to like Vontae Davis, who retired at halftime of a football game because of what he was dealing with, and people called him a quitter, like that narrative is way different than handling mental health.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and is that because he's a man, or is it because it wasn't recognized?
Just wasn't recognized.
You know?
Sure, yeah.
I think combination of both, honestly.
Yeah.
Kevin Love's been discussing
Kevin
it for
Love,
years.
I mean, he didn't do Olympics this year.
And all he does is get shitted on, like, for not, like, living up to expectations, like, because he speaks about it. Like, but then Kyrie does it, and Kyrie takes a couple of days off, but he, you know, like, people are celebrating, but not, you know, like, he's getting a different kind of pressure than Simone is on
Pretty much the same thing.
the same timeline. You know, it's like what you want to see is, I guess, you kind of just hope to see things align, and maybe we're all just still getting educated on it, you know? So like, I can't really speak negatively about anything, but like, because you come from an era where like, I mean, shit, I'll be honest, like I posted something earlier or last night, just speaking on like my experience in like, you know, like working with this next generation.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the sake of just like people understanding, like I said, like, yo, success is behind excuses. Like the excuses are in front of you. You can find any reason not to show up. But if you want to be great, like you gotta get your ass up and see the success behind it and go around those excuses. And that's not difficult because we get in our own way. The difference between right and wrong isn't what needs to be figured out. It's about the discipline to get to do the right. Like we can all do what we want to do, but can we get there? And not everybody's mentally strong enough. I literally had somebody call me last night. I don't know if we'll keep this in here, but like I literally had somebody call me last night, and they found a stray cat. This is an employee. Found a stray cat, and they're calling me at 1:00 in the morning about possibly calling out because they don't have a cat sitter. You just found this fucking cat, and you're talking about, I don't know, I don't have a vet, and I don't have a cat sitter, and I want to bring the cat to work. Like
that shit to the fucking pound, nigga.
Like yo, like, first of all, that's not my responsibility. Your responsibility is to show up to work on time. Like, so it trips me out because then I hear whispers of people saying like, oh, by the way, this employee was going to call out because it was cloudy or it was raining.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
But
the mood is just not right today.
But having this conversation out loud, like maybe I don't know what they're going through, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the person that found the cat doesn't have any friends, and they're going through their own situation. Maybe that cat to them is a sense of friendship that they're missing. And maybe the guy that doesn't want to come in because the rain is never mind. But
I hear what you're saying, but how do you find that balance? Because at the end of the day, you are running a business, right?
100%.
And to your point, like that's not my responsibility. You've committed to this job. You know what it's like. So how do I find that balance of being supportive if someone is going through a mental issue, but at the same time being a boss, you know, and a manager of my company, and being like, what the fuck does that have to do with me? With all due respect.
No, it's tough. It's tough because right now, specifically, a lot of the people that work for me can go get more money in government assistance. Well, at some point, could get more money than they make when they come in busting their butt. Like, I'll give you another example. I offered somebody $1 more an hour, which is a nice difference in pay because that's your starting point to get to the next level. And literally, when I said, I'm like, legally, you're not allowed to ask how much someone's paying you. But I'm like, hey, how much do they pay you? And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll give you $1 more an hour just to like give us a separator.
Yeah.
They're like, well, it's less work over there. And it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I know what you're about. If that's what you think, but I'm going to give you one quick speech. If you want to do something in this life, you want to contribute, and you feel like going to a company where you're just a fucking statistic,
Yeah.
You're just a statistic. Versus being here, getting paid a little more. Yes, the drive is a little further, but you're going to contribute to a community directly. And the person signing your check is fucking talking to you.
Yeah.
Or do you want to be a statistic where you're never going to meet the person that represents the brand that you're going to put on your shirt?
Yeah.
It's chess, nigga, not checkers.
There's different kinds of people, and everybody's just looking for the fastest way to whatever it is. Like, they just want to get by. And it's like, I don't know. It's hard to figure it out.
And that's a part of their journey.
Yeah,
they're gonna
for
figure
sure.
it out sooner or later.
Yeah.
no
For
sure.
matter how much knowledge you hit them with.
Yeah.
I really looked deep into this whole thing, and I didn't just want to go one way or another. And to, I think, everyone's point, I don't know what it's like to be this caliber of an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you a much smaller, lower example from pitching at a Division I level. My changeup wasn't my best pitch, but when it was rocking, good luck. Okay. And if it wasn't, that shit was hit 500 feet. All right. And I still have some images of that.
Just right. Yeah.
My neck still hurt.
Just never.
Just imagine like throwing, like, you know, you play with the yo-yo.
Yeah.
And when you throw the yo-yo, there's a delay, but the hand motion makes it look like it's coming out fast. Now imagine if it comes out at the speed of the hand motion, and it's just sitting right there like a dead duck. Waiting. Yeah. So when I think, and there were moments where I had no problem throwing it like, oh man, I can throw that for a strike like it's a fastball. Where I ended, and when my last days of pitching, or my last, I guess, season of pitching in college, for whatever reason, when I thought about throwing a changeup, I was afraid I was going to sail it over the catcher's head or throw it right in the dirt. And I had that mental block. To this day, I still have that mental block of that changeup. Granted, I'm never going to throw a changeup again. But even playing in the alumni games years ago, I was like, nope, we ain't going to do that. Because I just didn't have confidence in it. There was a mental block. And to this day, if you mention changeup, I get a little, just a little, you know? So there's some feel for you. So again, much smaller scale. With all that being said, this woman got twisties while doing these tricks. For those that don't know, twisties is basically these athletes rely on instincts. They throw their bodies in the air and they rely on their instincts to land on their feet. If there is a thought, just a thought of anything while they're doing these triple, quadruple flips and twists, it throws them off. It throws everything off. And if you watch her right before she bowed out, she threw herself off and landed on her ankle wrong and did a little bit of damage there. And that's why she's like, rather than pushing it for the health of my body and my mind, you know, I'm going to bow out. So I can, like, Jordan is not throwing his body in the air and doing triple flips and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's no athlete in the world. And also to add on top of all that, she's been winning as long as she's been alive, to my knowledge. All right. Like, she's the most decorated athlete ever.
That's what I'm saying.
I think even before Rio, and on top of that, she was, I think she was sexually abused by her coach, by one of her ex-coaches.
Oh yeah, they got him
at a young
He locked
age.
Up, yeah.
So you're dealing with that. And previous to this Tokyo Olympics, you're winning gold medals on sprained ankles and just damaged bones and muscles, and you're still winning. Like, if you're not the most mentally tough person in the world, I don't know who is. Like, the only other person I could think of is Serena. You know, being black growing up in Compton, getting through the white people's ranks, the gatekeepers, and then winning while she's pregnant. You know, so I think I don't know. I think people are a little crazy. And again, to everyone's point, you don't know what it's like to be that kind of an athlete,
or that person in general,
or that. And what, like, imagine she gets through. She obviously handled whatever she went through with the sexual abuse. She got through it. I don't know if she handled it well, but she got through it and she continued to win. And so it seems like nothing really had stopped her. And then all of a sudden, this GOAT, like, it's like a movie. This GOAT just starts thinking, what if this? What if that? And the worst, if you ever play against a bunch of athletes, the best thing that you can do, and you are the least athletic team, the best thing you do, make the athletes think. You put a bunch of freak athletes that can jump out of the gym, make them think. They're done. They'll lose all the confidence in the world. Like we play ball, we've watched games, we've been a part of teams that weren't the most athletic, and we've won. You know, so in regards to her, she started thinking, and and now we are where we are. But she, again, the fact that she got through that, even with all the backlash and all these idiots, and honestly, I think most of it, I don't think these people are idiots. I think it's just clickbait. It's just like, ooh, someone to pick on, someone to say you're not representing America.
Exactly.
And to her credit, thinking about it too, we know her for the team. We might, as like the surface watchers, right?
Yeah.
Like we know her as a team. She's the representative. When you think women's gymnastics, you think her. You don't really know everybody else behind her. And to her credit, two of the things she bowed out of, they still won gold. USA still won gold. Like they still had the she could be quote unquote the best possible option, but yet the person right behind her still was the second best person in the world. So to her credit, she knows that better than anyone else, right? Because that's her teammates. So if she steps out, she's like, yeah, my girl still got this shit. She gonna still get the gold. Good. And put them on because
put them in a position now the world knows who they are.
Yeah, everybody knows who they are.
Yeah. I mean, I would say you have a little bit of an end of the day. If you're not mentally well, that's conclusive. But I would say you have a microscopic of an argument if she didn't win a thing and she just barely made the team.
But she wouldn't have that pressure.
But now you're looking at it different, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're looking at it like, okay, she really, really going through something. Like, we need to figure out what this is. Like, because that's a telltale sign.
You know what it's like? You're gonna laugh about this shit. This is like I'm not gonna compare myself to this, but like we play basketball every Wednesday. Yeah. I never call a foul. Never call a foul. And I called a foul during game point, which is the cleaner, dirty, right? That
one.
Yeah. And whether it's a foul or not, it's up to the air.
Foul.
But I've never called a foul. So like for me to call a foul, it's gotta feel like a foul. And I think Simone's never done anything other than be amazing, be great, be the GOAT. Like she's allowed to be comfortable, like make the right decision for herself. Like 100%. And you said it honestly, you said it the best way, where it's just like there isn't many sports that require the type of precision that gymnastics does. Like, I'm for some fucking toe shit. Like if one toe goes the wrong way.
Bro, they literally say it every single time she does any event. She's so powerful. When she does her moves, she could barely control herself. Like,
look, on top of all that, when they start naming moves after you, when you are creating new moves, that's the end of the discussion. You have nothing to say. When people start naming shit after you, you have nothing to say. You don't know. She's trying new things.
You own the sport.
You own it. Like she's got a flip named after her or something named after her now.
It's like
Jeez.
Quadruple somersault.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, some crazy shit.
But all right, yeah. So moving on, Rel, how was your mental health last night with New York in the house?
Listen, I'm glad we're here, baby. This is what I'm trying to tell niggas, yo. So we was at Sean's reception, you know what I mean, on Monday.
Hold on, who'd you have winning?
I said, and this is why I'm glad you brought that up. I said I would love to see Dipset win, but the realistic person that I am.
Say what you want to say.
Right? The realistic person that I am, and me knowing being in the industry, I said there's no way they beating the Locks. I love Dipset. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that I love Dipset. I came in that era. I came up in that era. I got into music in that era, like fully got into that music and started deciding that I wanted to DJ in that era. So I love Dipset, but we talking about the fucking Locks, bro. Like, come on, man. And I said this. We was at his reception, and they asked me. They were like, "Well, you the New Yorker. Who you got winning? Who you got winning this Versus tomorrow?" I said same thing I just explained to y'all. I said, I would love to see Dipset win. Of course, they would, you know what I mean? But I said, I'm a realist. They're not beating the Lox. No way. And they all looked at me like, what? Like I had 4 heads. And I said, and this is how I knew I was talking to people that don't know the music industry that well. You know what I mean? Or I shouldn't say don't know the music industry, just don't know hip hop and what it means to do it. I said, I'm gonna give you an example. You saw what Jada did to Fab in his last verses, right? Everybody had Fab winning it. And as he should, because if we're talking about verses, it's usually 20 hits. Right. Not saying that Jada don't have hits, because clearly he does, right? But Fab came out being that dude that was
cool for school.
Too cool for school. He had witty bars. He had as many records underneath the sun for chicks and for the women. Like he was that dude for the women, right? He was Drake in a sense before Drake was around. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no reason we talking about verses for hits, but Jada came in there prepared, ready, studied this man's catalog front to back and said, whatever he throws at me, I got a rebuttal. And Jada bodied him. I said, you think that he not gonna take his boys and do the same thing to Dipset, who ain't got nowhere near as many tracks as Fab does? I said, come on, bro, what are we talking about right now? What are we talking about? Man, listen, 4 songs in. 4 songs in. I was texting everybody like, I told y'all niggas. I said, I told y'all. I was like, yo, these niggas is getting murked. Get him off the stage, bro.
Cam wasn't there for he was there, but he was real quiet that first.
Hey, listen, if we think Cam's presence early on would have helped him, it wouldn't have. It doesn't matter, bro. It does not matter. Does not matter. Shout out to Dipset. They went in there. They did a lot of talking and shit like that. But look who you doing. And the fact that Jada kept calling them out, being like, these niggas is lip singing. It's over. Once he said that the first time, I said it's over. Yeah. It's over for these cats, bro. It's over.
You
it's
a rap about dinosaurs?
Yeah, it's a rap. It's curtains for these niggas, yo. Get them off the stage. I kept screaming that every round. Get them off the stage, bro.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because I was driving and watching and whatever. So correct me if I'm wrong. Cam was on stage, but he had they had him set up on a beach chair off to the side. That was like the plan to just like, I don't have to even be in this, and we got hits.
Yeah.
And then he would pop in, and then it's like, now Cam's here.
It was a Cam show.
It's a Cam show.
Yeah.
Not that kind of Cam show. But then he pops up and it's a wrap. But sounds like because I didn't.
That backfired.
That backfired.
That backfired.
Too
Bro,
cool. Too cool.
Like I'm trying to tell you, man. Like they didn't. Again, just to say it over, they didn't come in there prepared. They did not come in there prepared.
You know what
they didn't.
It looked like the Lox was battle rap ready. They stepped in like it was a real battle.
Because that's what it was.
Yeah. But they tried to play it off like, this ain't SOBs. Yes,
it is.
It's a battle. So
we in New York, in Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of hip hop, not just New York, the Mecca of hip hop. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, yo. I was so disappointed in Dipset, bro. Like I was like, y'all are just y'all watch, bro.
It was right out the gate.
Yo, off the gate. Yeah. I for a brief second, I considered deleting all Dipset out of my Serato. I was like, bro, I'm probably gonna hold off playing Dipset for a while. Yeah. Like they just got completely washed, bro. And I was just like, if you're a Dipset fan. You left. You hurt. You left that hurt.
I saw a lot of they were like, I was all for Dipset. I'm team Dipset.
It was all on my feed.
But
everyone was a Dipset fan.
But they're like, but damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you. I said it. Oh, what's DC's homegirl's name?
Oh, Bree. Yeah.
Yo, she DM'd me and she was like, "Damn, you was right." I told y'all niggas. I was like, "What did y'all expect?" Anyways, man. Yo, but. I want to talk about DJ. What's his name? Technician.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First of all, I'm gonna shout him out. I want to first shout him out and give him his flowers because he played a major role on why the Lox won that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right? He played a major role.
100%.
What he did for them and how he was switching up the instrumentals and
didn't fuck up.
And didn't fuck up and then like and you know, and just like and it was clean. Like I give him like that was huge what he did for them is switching up the beat and playing West Coast tracks, doing all like insane. When he went from when they played I Get High, Styles P, and then he went, I got 5 on the instrumental, like crazy. Like that went over a lot of people's head. Like I'm like, yo, he's cleaning it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give that man his flowers. He bodied the set for the Locks.
Greatest second half.
Greatest second half of all time, right? The first half though, nah, bro. Nah, and I'm not even, a lot of people were giving him about his transitions and him mixing tracks too quick. Like, listen, that's a New York thing. Like, if y'all understand that, that's how New York DJs get down. Like, if you're not from the East Coast or
that's a DJ thing.
That's a DJ thing. Like, that's how cats get down. You know what I'm saying? I hear shit all the time. Yo, you mixed records too quick. Listen, that's my style. Like,
keep up.
Deal with it or don't deal with it. It's
grab
that
a few
simple.
more drinks.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? That's
Get
just how
used
I
to
do. Like, it's a gift and a curse. I get that 100%. And I do my best to read the room and try to, like, adapt to it. But at the same time, that's just my style. So I'm not going to make no excuse, but it is what it is. So I say all that because I'm not talking about some of the transitions or whatever that he did at the beginning of the show. I'm talking about the disrespectful shit of him playing Tupac's Hit 'Em Up at Madison Square Garden in New York City during a battle between Dipset and the Locks.
Yeah.
What do you think was going on in his head? Like, what was his? What do you think the thought process was?
I can't.
What did he? I know what he overlooked.
I don't, in no shape or form. No, I don't care. You could get the
I only got one scenario, but I want to ask later.
You could get the worst LA DJ of all time and put them in that, and I promise you they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to get the crowd riled up. He was trying to get the battle energy. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing I can think of. We're in a battle. Let me play some battle shit,
songs,
some beef songs.
So why didn't you play Who Shot You after that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you play, like, if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Why didn't you play Who Shot You after that?
Maybe
Play
because Jada did the Who Shot You verse. He probably didn't want to burn that one. That's the only thing I think. I don't know.
Then don't do it. Play 50 Cent Ja Rule.
Wait, so what did he play?
Like,
okay, so here's my question. What did he play before that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember what he
I
played
just
after?
lost my shit when I heard that.
I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear anything.
I completely blacked, bro. And I think it was
Your Timberlands at the TV.
I think it was right before we got on our FaceTime call.
Yeah.
I think it happened like literally right before we got on our FaceTime call last night.
We were talking about
because
it.
I was like, bro, are y'all watching this shit? Like, I'm fucking flabbergasted right now. My nigga, like, yeah, and they pan, like the cameraman panned towards the crowd, and the crowd was fucking confused. To like, yo, are you really going to disrespect the late great Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., in the Holy Mecca right now? Like, are you really playing this? And I mean, he got out of it fairly quick. But
What did he play? Just the fat motherfucker.
Oh, y'all don't like that?
Like
Chicka.
it almost it's probably in the top 5 most disrespectful things a DJ has ever done.
But he recovered.
So
He did. I don't want to say. I don't want to say he recovered because I don't know if you can recover from that.
We're the only ones that can remember it, though.
100%.
I'll tell you about that.
We're the only ones that care.
Yeah, we're the only ones that care.
Going back to the headphone talk.
You're right. Exactly. I give you that.
Jazzy Jeff's like, but did the ladies dance?
I give you that. And that's the reason why I wanted to give him his flowers because I'm not talking about his skills and his talent and his capability. Like, he completely bodied it.
Yeah.
I'm not giving that. I just don't know, to your point, where his head was at
Song selection.
when he decided, I'm going to play Tupac's Hit 'Em Up
in New York.
New York, in Madison Square Garden, bro.
So-
not SOB or whatever, like in Madison Square Garden, bro. I just don't get it.
I think that moment last night has to be like a top 5 or 10 for Madison Square Garden, period. But I also think him playing Hit 'Em Up was the top 5 worst thing you can do in Madison. Worst performances. In basketball, players get ready to, give a performance. Like, you never see Kobe go like 2 for 20. And like, that would have been like one of the worst performances, right?
Yeah. I think it's 2 scenarios. Yeah, and I want you guys' opinion.
Okay.
First scenario. It's just in his set. He's just going through a set.
Okay, just going down the list.
Going down the list. Like, not even thinking about it. He thinks he's got this set. We all have sets.
Yeah.
He was just going through it. Didn't think it through. He just played it.
Yeah.
That's first scenario. Second scenario is what a lot of these viral social media, and I think, I don't know who I think you brought it up. I don't know. But like, you ever see somebody caption the wrong celebrity on a video?
Yeah.
But you talk about it. What does it do? It engages.
Yeah.
It's a conversation starter.
You dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, that's the wrong, whatever. Oh, that's the wrong. Like, when we put, sometimes we'll put the wrong Jordan just to get people pressed. And what are they going to do? Come correct us.
Yeah.
And then so if he does something outlandish, what are we going to do? Talk about him.
Because and he probably knew, like, I'm about to body this lock set. Let me give him something to talk about. Have some fun with these trolls.
They would have talked about that, though. They would have talked about his set with the locks.
But again,
people realize how good of a job
to
he did.
Mickey's point, we're the only ones that really care.
100%. But what I'm saying is we're the only ones that care about the hit 'em up thing, though, too.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're the only ones that care about Hit 'Em Up. Everyone else is just talking about the locks. No one else is saying, yo, the locks bodied, but I'll never forget Hit 'Em Up. That's my point. True. I don't think.
I hear what you're saying.
That's why we have
as a passionate New Yorker, I feel you.
But and my rebuttal to that is it worth it? Was it worth him being like, oh, I'm gonna get him talking because I'm gonna play this track?
Yeah. Maybe
I'm gonna get him talking, right? But is it worth it because now you got every New Yorker in that building, regardless if they're artists, part of the entourage, if they just a fan or whatever, in there, and they looked at you and they been like, nah, bro. Did doing something like that hurt him in a way that
I would love to hear him on not necessarily a podcast.
I would love to hear
do an IG live or give me something like. I'm just curious. Like, all you need is one answer. Like,
I'm curious to
was it beef? Cool, get it.
What was the reason that he would go and do that? You know what I mean? Maybe he was just like, yo, I had a fucking brain fart. My bad. Like, if he was apologetic, or he was. To your point, he was just like, I was thinking of some battle shit, or I wanted to, get a conversation starter or whatever. I want to get people talking, get it going viral or whatever. All right, whatever your reason is, I just want to hear it because to me, it makes zero sense. There's no logic to it whatsoever, especially after the performance you put on after that. Like, it just makes no fucking sense. He was because he started it off, right? He was the one, like, when they turned the Verzuz start on, he was the one DJing, right? And then Dipset's DJ came on towards us, and they were kind of going back and forth. It was almost like a somewhat of a battle between the two of them. He was destroying son. Yeah. He was destroying him, yo. Like, and Dipset's DJ was playing like a lot of South shit. He was destroying this dude. So I was like, you already destroying this cat. Granted, he played Hit 'Em Up before that started, but I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Are you even allowed to wear a Yankee hat and play Hit 'Em Up?
You stupid.
Can you do that?
Bro, I don't know.
I don't know if you had a Yankee hat on, but
I don't even have Hit 'Em Up in my Serato.
I was going to say that.
I don't have Hit 'Em Up in my Serato.
What about on your beat source? You got it in your locker?
I don't know, B source. I need an account. Can we let's talk after this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't even have it in my Serato. I don't have it. And that's like, I don't even play Who Shot You in LA. Yeah. I wouldn't even do that.
I don't think people care as much.
But again, because Who Shot You wasn't even made, because if you know the backstory, it wasn't made to diss Tupac.
No, it was done before.
It was done before all that even happened. And they just made it they decide that's the narrative.
For the longest, I thought he says Tupac names at the end. Everything around me, Tupac dies. I thought that's what he said, but then I realized 2 Glock 9s. I was like, this shit ain't about Tupac. This shit out of my face.
The only time he mentioned,
I hate everybody.
The only time he mentioned Tupac's is in the track with Jay-Z, Brooklyn's Finest.
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying, when he was like, "Get it, Tupac." You know what I'm saying, like, and. Yeah. That was big. I was like, maybe Jay said that, but I was like, no, it was big. But that's the only time he mentioned that, and that was after all this shit had happened or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I get, but overall, man, battle was great. It was probably one of, and for me, top 3 of the verses thus far. You get what I'm saying? Like it was amazing. Yo, they went. Jada was on one, bro. He was on. Did y'all see him what he did afterwards?
Yeah,
After
he went
walked
to
outside, he went to go do pull-ups because he was still taunting Jim Jones. Because Jim Jones, I don't know if you guys follow Jim Jones on Instagram, but I do, and he's always posting his workout. He's always posting like the workout that he does. You know what I mean? And he's like, he's crazy, and he gets made fun of because he's top heavy. Like he's big head, but little legs. You got like small legs or whatever, and he's like pull-ups. Just he looks like he's doing prison pull-ups all the time. Yeah. So when he did that, I was just like, damn, Jada, come on, man. They already in the coffin. like let him live a little bit, man. Damn.
Jada is just,
bro.
I mean, granted, not everyone's going to get the opportunity to do a versus or have the catalog to do a versus, but I think when you're grading these artists, top 5, top 10, there's Biggie. You judge by albums, you judge by, some people judge by concerts, ticket sales, whatever, movements, trends. You have to now factor in what they did in verses. What Jada did against Fab, he made Fab play his own. He made Fab play his game.
Yep.
And then how he just took the reins and threw the other two on his back and said, "I got this. Give me the mic. I'm going to control from here on out." And so I think you have to consider that. And I missed the first half of it, and it was still probably my favorite verses. But the best part, and I almost feel like it was too, like it's had to have been scripted. Like, why would you say this? Why would you do this? Maybe you just forgot his catalog. But when he said, "Yo, they doing shit for the guys or drug dealers or whatever,"
don't like the bitches.
Like they don't like girls. They ain't doing. And then Jada's like, "What? What are you talking about?
Let me give you 30 more records real quick."
And he had more in the like. I'm thinking of the songs he didn't play.
Fam, and that's not even, and the reason why that part stood out so much is because of Technician.
Yeah.
Right? Jada didn't perform none of those songs. He just let Technician just go quick mix and bang them out. Boom, 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 boom. He was like, what are we talking about? Like,
it was almost like they had a...
Y'all don't know about Grammys.
Like,
you know Grams. You don't know Grammys.
I was like, hey, yo,
it's like one of the most used lines in a verse, but when you in that stage, in that moment, his timing with everything.
He did his freestyle too. It was a rap.
Oh,
and then
that was over the Who Shot You?
They booed Cameron in New York,
they
fam.
Booed Cam. Yeah,
that's how bad it was for them. Cameron got booed in New York. That's as bad as when y'all remember Best of Both Worlds when Jay-Z and R. Kelly went on tour and they went to Chicago and Jay-Z got a way better response from the crowd than R. Kelly, and that's what started that whole like issues between them two. That's the same shit. Like you don't go to your hometown where you known from and get booed, bro. Like that's
unless you're Paul Pierce.
Unless you're Paul Pierce, but that's crazy. That's crazy.
Nah, because you missed the beginning. My favorite part was literally the very first line, because as they're yelling against each other to start the show and they're on top of each other, blah, 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 blah. And then Kiss sets it up with just like, I am New York, this is that. And then he just goes, Cam, you live in Miami.
Yeah.
And he's just start this shit. I'm like, oh my God.
He goes, y'all, because Cam was saying, Cam was like, y'all niggas are not even from New York. This is our home. We home. Y'all go first. Because they from Yonkers. Yonkers is still New York. But anyways, he was like, y'all home. And then he was just like, Cam, you live in Miami. I was like, bro. I was like, this is going to be so
And
amazing.
the real problem is Cam didn't say nothing. I would have been like, I'm not paying taxes, motherfucker. But you got to have something.
Guess who joints feel good during the winter?
That's what I said. Cam wasn't Cam. Because Cam is just as witty and as funny as Jadakiss.
No, what he said at the end caught my attention.
What?
When he said, if you got a problem with me, bring your guns.
Oh my
God. I'm like, yo, I'm using that, Mancho. You got a problem with me, bring your guns. Like, simple as that.
I heard him saying, like, what you wearing? I heard him saying that. That was funny.
Yo, there was a meme that had a picture of Joel Santana and it said, the way Joel's is dressed, it looks like someone threw all their laundry in the corner of the room.
Yeah,
Fam.
that shit was hilarious.
The memes was killing these
The
cats.
memes are great.
The best one was
Twitter was on fire.
The best one was the scene from Harlem Nights where with the guns, where they're shooting, and then you hear, and then the one dude, pop, pop, and he's like, stop shooting that shit. So it was the main two dudes was Jim Jones and Cam, and the one shooting the little guns was Jim Jones, and he was like, what the hell, stop. I was fucking weak, bro. I was like, oh my God, man. Like, it was, the memes are the best thing.
I like this was the first versus someone actually won.
Yeah, man.
That's gracious.
And then Tyler's comment was just ridiculous.
Yeah, he was like, man, I got a man crush on Jay.
he said he aged well. And his breath control
was amazing, bro. Oh, man. Bro, listen.
Hey, nah, for real though, I think you said it. Like, Jadakiss is just underrated, and I think now he really gonna get
probably because he was with the crew. The guys are with crews.
Yeah.
Oh, and I brought it up in our text, but the Locks also LOLing at Dipset performing in the chat in the middle of the thing. I was like, yo, you guys were prepared.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. We paid attention to that Jada and Fab performance. I was like, Jada is about to, he already been through this. He knows what he's doing.
Said, this is the game plan, y'all.
He said, this is the game plan.
Formula.
I said what Joe was saying. I'm going to put y'all on my back. I got y'all.
He's the first professional versus athlete.
Sheik Luch didn't have to do shit, bro. He was.
Sheik Luch is over there bench pressing. Y'all got this? That dude was slow as shit.
I thought he was a security.
Yeah.
All he did.
You notice none of Dipset said anything to Sheik. You're like, Jada, Styles.
The only thing Sheik did was his song Good Love, and he performed his verse from All About the Benjamins. That was it pretty much. You know what I'm saying? He was ad-libbing the rest of the way. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why they had Freaky Zeke up there.
Freaky was getting on my nerves.
He was getting on my nerves.
Yeah, he was
Get him.
getting a lot.
I was just like, bro, get Freaky off the stage.
He was making middle-aged men look bad up there.
Bro, when they was like,
While he was making washmen look bad up there.
they was like, when Freaky Zeke was like, if you ain't rapping, get off the stage, and everybody was looking at him like, shit, that means you too.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So before all that, my feed was Dipset. Cool, understandable. But I think some of those people truly are like just Dipset fans. Grew up liking them, loving them, whatever. But I also think there was a lot of people just going with the trend, you know, and then a part of me is like, I think a lot of people went for Dipset because they've always been the loudest and the brightest.
Yeah, 100%.
So and then I'm thinking like, okay, when the Locks was the Locks, like Bad Boy era, like they weren't flashy. Even when Puff and Mace were in the shiny suits, I don't remember the Locks being like that. They kind of just did their own thing, but were still around. And then Dipset jumped in after that shiny suit era and became the loudest crew in the country, right? So when you think of Locks, Dipset, you think loud, you think just killing, and they got everyone's kind of situated. Joel's took off really well. Cameron's always done his thing. Jim Jones had a couple hits, but they've always been the
What you gonna do balling? You better do balling. Finally! Bro, that was the best verses.
Everything was played against them. Because even when Joel's was trying to call out, we gonna make it, they still had, like, it took a minute to get to that point.
Speaking of him, did he do Beamer Benz? Did he do the whistle? Did he do Chris Brown?
Nah, Joel's
he could have done that at the end.
And they were calling him because they said, they were like, yo, play your song with Chris Brown.
He's the one that has the commercial joints.
Yeah. And that's the point. Like, because, you know, the point of verses is, yo, play the hits. You get what I'm saying? Play the hits. Like, yo, they literally killed these cats playing B-side tracks, freestyles. Like,
and then I like that he did the Nas joint. Shooting, and he was like, "Nah, that's Nas's song. I got a verse on, but that's Nas's." Because I was like, I wonder if he's even gonna play it because it's not even his song. But play 4-bar, no, we don't need that one.
That's what Cam said. Y'all the best side pieces ever.
Yeah,
it's like, y'all got all the features,
bro.
Man, listen.
Sorry, Cam.
Sorry.
Kiss is a pro.
Yeah.
Kiss is something else.
Listen, I'll tell you
man,
that.
funny as shit.
When Kiss go on tour, I'll be at the next show.
Yeah, sure.
I'm telling you that right
go.
now. When Kiss goes on tour, Kiss is going to make bread if he decides to go on tour.
Real quick, I was trying to think who would have been a better matchup with the Locks.
Nobody.
I was thinking Outkast.
Oh, well, they're winning.
Outkast will win that. What about CNN?
Nah. I think Locks gets him out of there.
Noriega's might have enough commercial.
Yeah. I think Locks get him out of there. I think you're right. The best probably would have been like someone like Outkast.
Outkast.
I think the better fit for Dipset probably would have been G Unit.
Oh, that would have been clean.
I think G Unit and Dipset probably would have been a better fit. You know what I mean? If 50 and Lloyd Banks and
everybody
those guys could have worked their shit out. Yeah, I think that was
too rich for him.
I think G Unit would have got Dipset out of there too, but still, I think it would have been a better fit for them.
But it wasn't really a catalog win. I mean, it was a catalog win, but it wasn't as much of a catalog win as it was just a stage presence win.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
That's the key
50's
factor.
in shape.
50 would have not went up there.
I don't know about Lloyd. I haven't seen him perform.
Lloyd would have been.
50 ain't coming out of whatever he's doing an individual situation.
Yeah. That's what I said. 50 still beefing with like Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks and all them dudes. And I'm like,
isn't Young Buck still doing
Young Buck
some situations?
He's figuring it out.
I'll tell you what, man. You get 50, Lloyd, Game, Buck, and I guess Yayo, and you put him up against the Locks. I mean, he's a part of the crew, but he doesn't have any hits. He's got one hit.
Who?
Yayo.
We'll take it.
Okay. No, I don't know if it's a point, but you can throw it in there. But I'm saying with all of Game songs, all of 50 songs, when it comes to it, it's going to come down to Game and 50's solo. They'll get anybody out of here, I think.
Yeah.
I think they'll get the Locks out of here. You got to, because people forget the Game was a part of G Unit.
Speaking of the Game, he was in the chat and he was just like, going to Apple Music to refreshen up on my Locks playlist.
But what I'm saying is the Locks never broke up, right? The Locks have always been a group. So their individual tracks always still accounted for them being a Locks track, right? Game left G Unit.
Yeah.
So everything that he made after G Unit don't count, in my opinion.
That's fair, but when it comes down to Versus, it's like just what have you done?
Yeah.
It's like if Daz Dillinger were to be in a Versus, he can drop drop shit outside of Dog Pound because he did shit for Tupac, and you're probably not gonna beat anything that he drops with Tupac on it. But with the Game, I think. I mean, you're not going to get 50 in the Game on the stage. But just like Jada took off.
They cool. They cool.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You'd have a better chance getting them two on stage than you would him and Young Buck.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'll end my segment with this. Jada took over at the end and literally put the nail in the coffin with his solo stuff. And that's what it's going to come down to if you have a G Unit against whoever, let's say the Locks.
You gotta have a Beyonce.
You're going to, but 50's going to drop his solo shit and then he's going to drop In the Club as his last song and the Game's going to drop Hate It or Love It at the, you know what I'm saying? Like their solo tracks have to come out to put the nail in the coffin or to finish people off. Like, yeah, it starts off as a group thing, but it's gonna come down. It's gonna, it's like the track in the Olympics. A couple people are just gonna separate themselves from the group, and it is what it is after that. All right, we're done here. That was a lot of fun. That was a good convo. We just had DJ Ibarra. Shout out to him. And this week we have Icon from Houston. And after that, Tony Handsome from LA. If y'all don't know Tony Handsome, get familiar.
Get familiar.
And we are out of here.
Peace.
Yeah.